I'm not trying to give away too much here, but I think when you have negotiations like this, there's certain things that a player should not have to hear when the messaging comes back about why you're not getting what you believe to be your value. Those are perhaps conversations that are going to have to be had to clear the air whenever he signs his deal. Like, I don't know if he's going to take the qualifying offer. It's very rarely someone passes up $180 million guaranteed to take 9. Sometimes with a player like that, he hears Boston was going to offer me this and Sacramento was going to offer me this, over $200 million if we were to work out a sign and trade, and then they get that in their head and they can't get it out. And I'm very curious for a guy who's still very young, who felt like he'd done enough in the regular season to warrant getting, quote unquote, his money, how that's going to play moving forward. He's a professional. He shows up, he works hard, all that stuff. Like, nobody takes any of that away from him. I just wonder where human nature comes in, where your feelings are.
Jalen Duren is dragging the Pistons into the summer. I mean, going to drag them to the summer. Then it's going to be a star contract talk time. And Vince Goodwill with another update. I like Vince Goodwill. Shout out to bro. I wouldn't mind having him on the channel if he would like to come. I doubt it. But I'm seen as an extreme content creator, which I don't really think I'm extreme. I'm just honest. But yeah, he basically just, what he said in that video was what we already knew. Wasn't nothing we didn't know. Simple fact is, there's going to be a stalemate. Nobody taking a qualifying offer around $10 million and turning down 140, 180. I know Robert Ory said the other day that he would act like his back was hurting, go sit down. But guess what? If you plan on a qualifying offer and you didn't show me that you was a baller last year, you didn't show me that you was balling last year, then guess what? You know, I can't offer you the 140, the $100 million. You got to get on another prove-it deal. So think about that. If he was to take the qualifying offer and then have a great season next year, or said I hurt myself and sit out the majority of last season, who's going to pay him the market value, the more than what he got from Detroit? You know, that's the $1 million question. Who gonna pay him more? So, you know, ultimately, that's just what it is. Who gonna pay him more? So if he's on a qualifying offer, that's what my synopsis was, or my hypothesis was. If I was the Pistons, I'm gonna run him into the dirt. Yeah, we gonna run bro into the dirt. We gonna get 40 plus minutes out of him every night. And it'll probably be beneficial for him from the standpoint of, you know, you get to show what you really can do. You know, so I mean, it'll be a gamble. I just think he's just trying to stretch it out as long as possible. Unfortunately, it's stopping Asar Thompson from getting his money, or stopping Pistons making another move. If one, it's got people in comments that say they done. They possibly can't be done because they haven't signed Jalen Duren. Excuse me. So they possibly can't be done. So, but in general, this is just a game of chicken to the probably last minute, and eventually he's probably going to submit to the Pistons. He's probably going to sign a contract about $38-39 million, maybe 40 might be the perfect sweet spot. And it's probably going to be at three or 4 years, probably not going to be at the full 5. And that's what it is, you know. But you also got to remember, and I don't want to sound too redundant from some of the other videos, you have to remember there's a chance that, remember, John Wall slipped on the toy at his house and re-tore his ACL. There's an opportunity when we wake up in the morning, it's a blessing. It's not a given that we're going to be able to wake up in the morning and see another day. You know, it's not. Don't take it for granted. It's not going to be, it's not a given that we're going to wake up in the morning. What the hell is that? Oh, it's not a given that we're going to wake up in the morning, y'all, and have all our faculties. So, you know, I like to thank God every day, or when I can, you know, it's to thank God for what I do have. And I know everybody's not religious, but I like to thank him for what I do have, because, man, that shit could be gone. That shit could be gone. And we're not entitled for one more second than we think we deserve, one more breath. So yeah, I just want them to think about, you know, every day. It don't, you know, you never know. You might walk out there and you might trip and hurt your leg or hurt your ass. You might be in the workout. So you got to understand there's risk. I think people don't really understand the risk that we take as in general, especially, you know, the infrastructure builders of the world, in America in particular. When you talk about the electricians, the line workers, the deep sea welders, the mechanics, the people that work in automotive, the you know, Anything can happen out here. So don't just think tomorrow is promised, because it ain't. It ain't. So that's why when you able to get your chili, you got to get your chili. When you able to, when you about to make a major decision, it's nice to think about it. It's nice to, if you pray about it, you meditate about it, think about it, get clarity on the decision. It's hard, don't make impulsive decisions. But for him, they just gonna stretch this out. And you heard what he said too, is that he's hearing things that he shouldn't hear. Now, this is the interesting thing where I'm gonna tie Lamar in here. So Lamar having his mother as his agent, boss, he's hearing everything that the Baltimore are saying, why we don't want to give you this fully guaranteed contract. Motherfucker, you ain't never healthy. You know what I'm saying? We don't really believe in you like that. But usually when you got an agent is just he's gonna be like, don't worry about it. They say a little bit of this, that, they know how to play it. The agent is, it's a necessary middleman, especially if you tender, or you are moist, or you emotional, or, you gonna feel a certain type of way, because they're going to filter the raw truth and kind of sound like sweet lies. They know that's part of the profession. Because if he hears something that he don't like, and he gonna be like, oh, fuck that nigga, fuck them, woo, 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 woo. And I heard Jalen Duren don't have a lot of experience with NBA players. Here's something he don't like, he gonna be like, I'll take the qualifying offer. And then he take that qualifying offer and get injured or don't have a good season. Who bottom line do that hurt? The agent. Not people looking at the agent, his other people that work with him, or the prospects that's thinking about working with him. Oh, you the one that had Jalen Duren take that qualifying offer. You the one that finessed him out of 180, 160, $40 million, $20 million. We ain't signing with you, ninja. But if he get Jalen Duren a really big contract, then people gonna be like, hey, we fuck with you. You got Jalen Duren 280, 260, 250. Hey man, we fucking with you, dog. So you gotta understand, he got skin in the game too. And also with the agent being the bumper, he can tell the player something that he wasn't meant to hear. And if he hears something and the relationship is irreparable, he crashed out in the locker room, they void the contract, he ostracized out the league, and I know it's extreme, then it's like, damn, So you got to remember that too, man. But in general, like I said before, when I heard Isaiah Stewart say that they told me that I was going to be a trade candidate as soon as Terajan took over. When I heard that, I already knew what time it was. I knew exactly what time it was. So it didn't surprise me none. But hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. The subscribe button is the bell icon button. Find me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram. The whole nine, man. I appreciate the love, support, man. The Lions games are on the horizon. So I'm thinking about I want to be more consistent with the live shows after the game. So, but life be life. And you know how that goes. So I want to be more consistent with that this year. But I do appreciate y'all. I feel like we turned up the Piston summer. They did a great job providing us sauce to still dip in towards the end of the summer. Hopefully y'all have a great day. Stay blessed. Peace.